Welcome, Diecast fans. I'm Tom Spanners Watson.
And I'm Frank Figueroa Gibbs.
And welcome to another round of the Outlaws.
Last week we officially filled up the list and Vagabond ran all the way to the top of the list and he gets to defend it this week.
And I can't help but notice a whole lot more bogans in Bogan Alley.
Yeah, mate, they definitely put the call out. Look at that. There's even an RV in there.
Well, just as long as they don't start Breaking Bad, they can stay there.
Now tonight, the Wannabe's going to battle again. So we've got JB and Healthy Scratch versus Marcus Figon and Impalinator 2 and Dick Turpin and Stand and Deliver versus Old Dirty driven by Wally Champ.
If you're not familiar with how the Outlaws works, what happens is we let a couple of Wannabes battle each week until we get to a final winner, and then that person gets the challenge for the number 10 spot on the list.
Yeah, well, you don't want the guys on the list to get too complacent. They got to know that there's consequences if they start losing.
So we've got Marcus Figon on the inside, JB driving Healthy Scratch in the outside, and the four drivers tonight came very close to making it onto the list, so we thought we'd give them another crack. Figon out to a nice lead here, clean line through Bogan Alley, JB right on his tail, JB goes up the inside.
That is a textbook overtake from JB there.
He keeps it clean through the final corner and will take the win, and a pretty solid time there as well.
That 13.388 times definitely going to put him back on the leaderboard, but let's just have another look at this overtake. Look at him ride Marcus Figon's bumper. Figon saw him coming, tried to close the door, but JB was having none of that. Pushes right on past beautifully and takes the win.
And let's just have a look at where that sits him on the Outlaw leaderboard time-wise. That puts him in at number 3, only just behind Vagabond and the Baroness.
Now, Wally Champ currently holds the overall time in his Mustang, and Old Dirty's still looking pretty quick as well, and he's going up against Stand and Deliver, driven by Dick Turpin.
Wally Champ's time in the Mustang Memorial Mustang is a 13.799, so he set quite a challenge for the rest of the drivers. Rubber Toe the closest so far at number 2.
Well, now that most of the Outlaws have had a bit of a crack at the track, I'd expect the times to start falling, and Wally Champ out to a solid lead here.
Both drivers nice and clean through Bogan Alley. Wally Champ slows down, Stand and Deliver catches right up to him, gives him a bit of a nudge. Wally Champ keeps it together and will take the win and gets a bit of air over the finish line.
Well, they both actually picked up a bit of air as they crossed the finish line. Check this out. Wally Champ almost cleared the entire intersection.
Well, at least he didn't nail the bus this time.
And Dick Turpin, they're a little bit more sedate, only clearing about half the intersection.
Congratulations, Wally Champ. You're moving through to the next race up against JB and Healthy Scratch. And looking at the leaderboard, Old Dirty now moves into 5th spot on the Outlaw table, but he still holds the overall track record in his Mustang.
We've always said you don't need to add weight to be quick, and Wally Champ proved that so far, beating everybody just driving his stock weight Mustang.
Now, whichever driver wins this will be moving on to challenge Kit Cairn for the number 10 spot on the list.
Kit's definitely a tough competitor, and he's been the Gatekeeper before, so don't think he's just going to roll over and let you ride on by him.
We get underway, Wally Champ on the inside, JB on the outside. Wally Champ got a bit of a lead so far. Both drivers nice line through Bogan Alley. Wally Champ opens some space, but he goes way too hard into that second corner. That automatically hands the win to JB, but JB will run down to the finish line anyway just to prove a point.
Another very clean drive there from JB, but Wally Champ, he was giving it the beans into that corner way too hard. He's got to use his brakes at some point, and then JB just muscled him out of the way anyway and kept it clean all the way to the finish.
That means that JB has another shot at the list.
And of course he's got a grudge to settle because it was actually Kit Cairn that shut him out in the last round to take the spot on the list in the first place. So this should be a lot of fun.
JB has definitely come to race tonight. He's not been mucking around. Kit Cairn has looked good so far. The charm is definitely quick. It's just going to come down to who wants it more.
I'm pretty sure JB really wants it this time after it slipped through his fingers a couple of times before.
Well, don't forget, Kit's been on the list. He got knocked off the list, got back on the list, got knocked off again, back on the list, and now he's a Gatekeeper as he gets out to an early lead. He goes sideways, JB pushing hard, and JB gets around him.
I would like to retract my earlier statement saying Kit wouldn't just lay down and let you drive right past him, because that's exactly what just happened here.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate. Kit had a good lead going into Bogan Alley. Oh, there he goes. He at least crossed the finish line, but let's have another look at that first corner.
I think Kit might have been trying the Scandinavian flick, but he just forgot to flick it back the other way as he skidded round, and JB quite rightly taking full advantage there, and he picks up up the win with a 17.4 time.
And the best part for JB, of course, is he knocks Kit KM and the Charm off the list and he claims that number 10 spot. Now he gets to go up against Nux driving Bane.
We've seen Nux pull off some great manoeuvres just recently, just threading the needle as he gets by cars that have crashed out in front of him. So even when he's at the back, you just can't ride him off till he crosses the finish line.
It looks like Nux might have found some more horsepower as he takes off on.
Well,
He
what
hits the
happened?
wall, rolls.
How the heck did he get back on his wheels?
Well, JB's not hanging around to find out. He wants to make sure he chalks up another win and climbs another rank on the list.
Another very composed drive there from JB. He's doing a great job tonight. But look at this. Bane goes so hard into the wall, he bounces off, flips around, spins on his roof, does a 180, gets back on his wheels, but unfortunately he is obviously a bit disorientated, and JB just found the gap as he's done all night and slipped right past him, even though he did get a bit of a spin as he went through the second dog league. But congratulations, JB, and healthy scratch.
So not only does JB get on the list, he moves out of the Gatekeeper role and now gets to take on Boxer driving TKO.
Now, Boxer's pretty sly. He has been taking his time recently and just cruising right past people that are crashing and spinning, a little bit like JB's been doing, so it's going to be interesting to see which one comes out on top here.
Well, JB's feeding it some Jandal early on. Big lead into the first corner. Oh, he slams straight into the wall, and Boxer, just like you said, takes his time, cruises right by the opposition. No point pushing the car too hard, but a very clean run all the way to the finish line, albeit a little bit sedate.
I think JB might be sedated after that hit. Crikey, he'd have chronic whiplash. But look at that, Boxer again just finds the gap perfectly and gets around him nice and clean. Boxer takes the win and a fairly pedestrian 17.003 time and holds his number 8 spot, and now he gets to go up against Hordin Sung driving Munted for the number 7 spot.
These two battled for these spots last week, Hordin Sung coming out on top, so Boxer will be looking for some redemption here.
Boxer's been playing the recent races so laid back he's basically horizontal, but he's really going to want to sit up and pay attention here.
Hordin Sung jumping out to a big lead, Munted a nice line through Bogan Alley, but he goes over in the second dog leg, and Boxer, just like he did in the last race, cruises past the wreck, flips in the bird and takes the win.
Okay, so maybe Boxer's laid-back strategy will work for him, but crikey, Munted had a huge lead on him here and he was looking really good, but unfortunately just hit straight into that barrier when he should have started turning a little bit earlier, and unfortunately that flipped him over, but Boxer again just drives around the wreck nice and clean.
It's definitely a risky strategy from Boxer here to just hang back and hope that they crash, although there have been a few of those tonight.
Although I gotta say, the drivers do seem to have tied it up a lot from the very first races we had here, and I think it's just because they're getting used to the longer track and the trickier corners.
Now it's time for Rubber Toe and the Baroness. Now the Baroness currently has the hottest lap for the Outlaws, although it's still behind the Mustangs' time. I definitely think Rubber Toe's got more in him.
Yeah, mate, the Baroness is definitely looking quick. Look at that, he's jumped out to a massive lead over Boxer.
Rubber Toe ripping away. He gets a full 360 in that second straight, gets the Baroness back under control, keeps it nice and straight, clean through the last corner, and will take the win in a 15.127 time.
Incredible bit of car control here from Rubber Toe. Pulls off a perfect 360 and still manages to post a time faster than a lot of the other Outlaws.
And there's the problem with Boxer's strategy. You cannot hang back against the fastest car on the track and just hope that they're going to crash.
Especially when that car is driven by Rubber Toe, a well-seasoned competitor who definitely knows what he's doing.
Now it's the Baroness up against Click, driven by Xanthopy. If Rubber Toe can keep it straight without a 360, I wonder what time he can post.
He's already proven he can go sub 14, so maybe he can take out the track time.
He enters Bogan Alley fast and low, clean through the second dog lead.
Go, baby, go, you can do it.
He gets a speed boost out of the second corner, tied through the third.
Yes,
and he's done it. What a phenomenal drive from Rubber Toe. He's beaten the track record, and here comes Xanthopy.
Who cares?
Distant second, but look at that. It is almost a sub 13.
Boy, Rubber Toe really set the Baroness's skirts on fire with this one. Check this out. He just took the perfect line through every corner. He kept it incredibly clean down the straights as well. Picked this line perfectly into each corner, and you can see the speed boost he picked up as he timed those corners so nicely, and he just fired out right down to the finish line with an absolute stunning time.
The Baroness was already the fastest Outlaw with a 13.982, and now he's just knocked almost an entire second off that time with a 13.090.
I knew the Baroness was quick, mate, but holy smokes, she was flying. What a rocket ship.
Next up to face the Rubber Toe onslaught is Ratbird, driven by Daddy G.
Daddy G is obviously no slouch, but I just don't know that he's got what it takes to take down the Baroness, especially the way she's performing tonight.
Daddy G comes out of the tunnel first, just ahead. Rubber Toe finds some extra gas, and down goes the Baroness.
Oh, boo. Boo on
With
you,
Rubber Toe
Daddy
down,
G.
that hands the win to Daddy G and Ratbird, but Ratbird still trying to post a quick muck time because he hasn't done one yet, and there he goes, a 14.272.
I was really hoping for another stonker from Rubber Toe here, and he looked great. It picked up some extra acceleration from somewhere, but Daddy G just clipping the back of his car and flipping him up into the wall. You see here Rubber Toe with a perfect drive around the outside of Daddy G, nice and clean, but Daddy G playing a little bit dirty. But, you know, it is racing, so I guess I'll allow it.
How big of you? But while he was on his side, Rubber Toe did sign some autographs for the Bogans, and they helped him get his car back over, so he'll be back next week. But he still holds on to the leaderboard, and Ratbird now in third place with his 14.272 time.
Yeah, look, fair sucker the Sav. I've got to give it to Ratbird. That was a quick time. Now he goes up against Mr. Dark driving Thrasher.
Mr. Dark has only had one outing on the track so far, and he lost to Vagabond last week, so he's still to post a time. He needs a win if he's going to get a time on the board.
And that last race was Ratbird's first win, and he posted a great time.
And it looks like he might be able to better it as he slips ahead of Mr. Dark. Oh, but he goes over in the second dogleg.
Well, there's some karma for you.
And because he's rolled over, that means that Thrasher takes the win, but he wants to post the time, see if he can get on the leaderboard a little bit slower to 15.866, but that will be enough to at least get him onto the Outlaw leaderboard.
And Daddy G here getting some instant payback for the move that he pulled on Rubber Toe in that last race, gets himself flipped over with no one else to blame, but Mr. Dark takes the win and holds on to his spot, and now he gets to challenge Bobby Orr driving Cave-In.
I think last week everyone was a bit surprised that Vagabond actually got past Cave-In. Bobby Orr has been a very strong competitor, and Cave-In has been incredibly hard to get past, but somehow Vagabond did it. Can Mr. Dark do it this time?
Well, he was definitely pretty clean in his last race, and he's out to a bit of a lead here.
Bobby Orr cuts to the inside but gets spun around. Thrasher now out with the lead. He turns around to see where Bobby Orr is. He's nowhere in sight. Thrasher with an easy run all the way to the finish now, and he posts a slightly quicker time.
A phenomenal effort there from Bobby Orr. Tries to cut up the inside of Mr. Dark, but Mr. Dark just knocked him out. Thrasher takes the win and now goes on to challenge the current number one, Vagabond.
That sure was a good attempt. It's a shame that Bobby Orr got spun around there because I'd love to have seen that battle continue. But with that win, Mr. Dark now on the leaderboard, although he's a long way back at number 8.
To be fair, mate, I don't think it'll be long before Thrasher starts moving up that list. He's just getting warmed up.
Well, with 2 wins under his belt, Mr. Dark is definitely warmed up, and he's going to need every ounce of power if he's going to get past Vagabond.
Vagabond currently the second fastest car, just over 14 seconds.
And Big Mac stretches out a lead. He is looking like he's going to take on the Baroness now. He is absolutely flying, just like the Baroness, clean through every corner, and that is a super quick time. Not quite up to the Baroness, but that does put him in second place overall, ahead of Wally Champ and the Mustang.
This is an absolutely brilliant drive here. Nice and high, gets a good line and a good boost of speed. Then here, again, nice and high in that corner, gets the speed boost out of the corner, clean through that corner, cuts to the outside, so he's perfectly lined up for the next one, and then straight run down to the finish, nice and clean, 13.668. He's not to be sniffed at. It's just unfortunate for him that Rubber Toe stole his thunder again by beating him by over half a second.
Oh, congratulations, Big Mac and Vagabond. That is a stunning time, regardless of whether Rubber Toe beat you or not. You are still number 2, not only on the Outlaw list, but you are number 2 overall on the track. And of course, you're number 1 on the list.
Plus, he's been undefeated in the last 13 races. That's an incredible record.
And speaking of incredible, congratulations, Rubber Toe. 13.090. That is going to be insanely hard to beat.
Well, I think a sub 13 is possible, but crikey, not by much. I think the Baroness is going to hold that record for a long time yet.
Well, if you've enjoyed this racing as much as we've enjoyed it, make sure to hit that like button and leave us a comment, and why not subscribe, and remember to hit that notification bell so you never miss a race. Alright, that's enough from us tonight. Thanks very much for watching. I'm Tom Spanners Watson. He's Frank the Guru Gibbs. We look forward to seeing you next time.